What if the very path to inner peace you've sought for years has been fundamentally misrepresented, leading you to abandon it just when it was about to reveal its true power? Perhaps you have already encountered the call to meditation, a whisper that has echoed for years. You have consumed the research, engaged with digital tools, and initiated the practice multiple times, only to find yourself abandoning it within days. This recurring pattern is not a testament to a lack of discipline or an overcrowded schedule. Instead, it stems from a profound encounter, the moment one truly sits with their own mind and is met not with peace, but with a surprising surge of internal turbulence. Herein lies the unspoken truth. The initial experience of meditation is rarely one of immediate tranquility. It often manifests as profound internal chaos. Most interpret this disarray as a sign of inadequacy or failure, leading to cessation. Yet what if this perceived chaos is not an obstacle to be overcome, but rather the very crucible of transformation?
The prevailing wisdom often directs our search towards external solutions, the perfect application, the ideal technique, or an unassailable morning ritual. We self-attribute our struggles to a deficit of discipline. However, this perspective misses the fundamental truth. The genuine challenge arises from a widely propagated, yet mythical portrayal of meditation, a scenario where one effortlessly clears the mind, experiences an immediate wave of serene peace, and emerges instantly transformed. This idyllic vision is not the practice itself. It is merely a romanticized projection.
Pioneering neuroscientific research, conducted by figures like Dr. Richard Davidson over decades, reveals a finding that directly contravenes popular expectation. In the initial phases of meditative practice, anxiety levels often exhibit a temporary increase during the first week. This surge is not an indicator of error or malfunction. Rather, it signifies a profound awakening, the conscious observation for the very first time of the underlying currents of mental activity that have perpetually operated beneath the surface of awareness. The internal chaos was always present. It merely went unobserved.
Consider the initiation of any rigorous physical training regimen. The nascent sessions are invariably accompanied by muscular burn and soreness in previously unnoticed areas. If one were to interpret this physiological discomfort as a sign of incorrect execution, the pursuit would likely cease. Yet, persistence prevails because there is an intrinsic understanding of the biological process. The burn signals effort. The discomfort signifies adaptation and growth. Meditation operates on an analogous principle. The anxiety experienced in the initial week is the lactate of the mind, not evidence of deficiency or incorrect practice, but a powerful indicator that the brain is being engaged and challenged in entirely novel ways.
Research consistently demonstrates that a mere 5 minutes of daily practice, sustained for 30 days, can yield profound and measurable benefits. A significant reduction in symptoms of depression, anxiety, and physiological stress markers, including the pro-inflammatory protein IL-6. This consistent engagement orchestrates tangible shifts in the brain's neural connectivity. Crucially, these transformative effects do not necessitate extended retreats or hours of silent contemplation. They emerge from the consistent dedication to just 5 minutes of daily engagement. The practice can be integrated seamlessly into everyday activities, while walking, performing household chores, or during one's commute. At this foundational level, the specific format is secondary. The paramount factor is daily, consistent application.
So why, despite this profound potential, does resistance persist? The answer, when confronted with absolute honesty, is a truth worthy of deep contemplation. The act of simply being with oneself, devoid of external input, without a task to accomplish or an output to generate, can feel profoundly destabilizing, akin to a perceived self-erasure. For years, identity has been meticulously constructed upon the pillars of productivity, problem-solving, and the relentless pursuit of progress. Meditation makes a radical demand. It invites one to simply be, without the imperative to perform, to produce, or to prove anything, even to the self. For the seasoned professional, particularly in their 30s or 40s, this stillness can feel genuinely threatening, not because of an inherent weakness, but because a formidable self-concept and reputation have been forged in the crucible of perpetual forward motion. To such an individual, stillness does not register as restorative repose. It feels like an abrupt halt, perhaps even confronting the profound realization of having constantly evaded something fundamental.
This, then, is not merely a challenge of meditative practice. It is an identity crisis disguised as a logistical or scheduling constraint. By the third or fourth decade of life, individuals often attain a formidable mastery in their chosen domains. Concomitantly, a heightened self-awareness develops, enabling the recognition of ingrained patterns, tendencies towards avoidance, and the narratives one constructs. Yet this very acuity of self-awareness can paradoxically evolve into a sophisticated trap. The constant self-monitoring, the meticulous filtering of words before utterance, the precise editing of actions before execution, the meticulous calculation of risk before every move, does not cultivate genuine presence. Instead, it engenders a relentless practice of self-management. Inevitably, this incessant internal governance becomes utterly exhausting. One finds themselves feeling highly capable, yet paradoxically stuck, possessing absolute clarity on the path forward, yet inexplicably immobilized.
This phenomenon, which Davidson aptly terms stickiness, where the emotional residue of previous days subtly permeates and influences present decisions, is not a defect of character or a personality flaw. It is fundamentally an unmanaged nervous system. The intellectual approach, the attempt to think one's way out of this state, proves futile, for the very act of thinking often forms part of the perpetuating cycle. The solution is not more data, nor a superior strategic framework. The profound intervention lies in a mere 5 minutes dedicated to ceasing self-management and simply observing what truly exists within. That is the whole intervention.
The pragmatic step forward is not the adoption of an intricate framework or a complex system, but rather a singular, unyielding commitment. Dedicate the absolute smallest increment of time one can genuinely adhere to daily. This is not about the aspirational ideal, but the undeniable reality of what can be consistently executed. Whether it is 5 minutes or even 2, integrate this moment into an existing ritual, the first meal of the day, the walk to one's vehicle, or that solitary cup of coffee before the world stirs. Do not append it to a demanding calendar as yet another task. Instead, anchor it to a moment that inherently belongs to you.
As one engages in this practice, whether seated, standing, or in motion, and the familiar surge of anxiety arises, the imperative is not to flee from it, nor to attempt its immediate suppression or rectification. Instead, simply observe it. Quietly acknowledge its presence, perhaps with the silent internal declaration, "There is the anxiety." This precise moment of detached observation is the essence of meta-awareness. It is this cultivated skill of noticing, over time, that profoundly reconfigures the nervous system. The ultimate goal is not the fleeting silence or an elusive sense of peace. It is the unwavering capacity for profound noticing. The final contemplation offered is not designed to ignite momentary inspiration or transient motivation, but to invite a stark 30-second encounter with absolute self-honesty.
If the internal turbulence one experiences in moments of stillness is not a defect to be eradicated, but rather vital information that has been systematically circumvented, what profound truth is it attempting to convey? Ponder this deeply and carry its weight forward.